Good morning, class. Today I'm going to do our reader's workshop a little differently. You aren't going to be able to see me read the book, but I think if I do it this way, you'll be able to see the pictures a little bit better. And for certain books, I'll read them like this so you can follow along with me and see the pictures. Other books, I will read the way I've been doing it, so I wanted to try this out. Now, here's our worksheet. Let's see what it's asking. Learn a lesson. What was the lesson of the story? Now, we're starting to get pretty good at finding the lesson. Yesterday, the lesson was to never give up. That is a common theme or lesson or message. The word theme means message or lesson that you will find throughout all types of stories. So the lesson there was to never give up, and all of you got that right. Awesome job. And we're always looking for what's the lesson, what's the lesson, what's the message, what's the moral, that type of thing, or theme. So if you can use that word theme, that's a high-level word. That's what it means. And now we're going to take it one step further. We're going to include evidence from the text. So that just means you're going to back it up with proof. And get used to doing this because you'll have to do this all throughout your schooling. It's always going to say, okay, now give me proof of why that's the lesson. Give me evidence from the text. And I don't want you to quote the text exactly. You are not copying word for word. So, for example, yesterday it would have said, the lesson was to never give up because she tried out for the soccer team 5 times and finally made it on the last try, on the 5th time. So that's me supporting my answer. I said the message. I didn't use the character's name. I didn't retell the story. I said the message was never give up. And then I added the extra evidence because she tried out 5 times and made it on the 5th try. So she failed 4 times. I didn't use the exact words from the book. And sometimes students get tripped up. They think that they have to copy the words. And I don't want you to do that. It's actually better if you don't, because then it shows me that you can comprehend what I'm saying or what you're reading, and you can put it in your own words. And the best way to show me you can comprehend something is if you can just put it in your own words and tell me what it means to you. And that's kind of what we're practicing here. So pay close attention. Think about the lesson as I read. I love the lesson in this book. And let me tell you right now, it's not to never give up. So it's a different lesson. I chose this book for a reason because it has such a great message to me anyway. It's called Dahlia, and it's written by Barbara McClintock. I love the pictures. So let's read. Try to follow along with me. Don't worry about following along with the words, though. I'm probably going to read fast and they're small. So here we go. It was a beautiful blue morning. Charlotte and Bruno were making mud cakes when Charlotte's mother called. There's Charlotte. There's Bruno. And we notice she's a child with her stuffed animal. They're playing in the mud. There was a package for Charlotte. Inside was a doll. Her painted mouth was prim. She was dressed in linen and lace and delicate silk ribbons. Frail hands were covered with thin gloves. Charlotte found a note. Dear Charlotte, I saw this doll and thought of you. Tell your mother I'm coming for dinner. Love, Aunt Edma. I think that word is Edma. I'm not quite sure. I think it's a French name. Charlotte didn't have a doll. Charlotte didn't want a doll. She carried the doll upstairs, thinking at any moment it might break. In Charlotte's room, among the dragonflies and boxes of beetles and found birds' nests, the doll looked out of place. We like digging in the dirt and climbing trees, Charlotte confessed to the doll. No tea parties, no being pushed around in frilly prams. You'll just have to get used to the way we do things. The doll looked concerned but said nothing. So right now, what do I notice about Charlotte? Do a lot of girls like dolls? Yes. Do all girls like dolls? I don't think so. Charlotte seems like the type of girl that doesn't like dolls because look at her room. She has a lot of stuff from outside. She likes to play in the mud. We know that already. So she might not be like all girls. Bruno and the doll were lowered down in a basket from the bedroom window. Charlotte climbed after them. They finished making mud cakes. The doll tasted one. She seemed to like it. Charlotte and Bruno made boats from sticks and leaves and sailed them down the stream. The doll looked on with pleasure. Charlotte thought, So now it seems like the doll is having fun with Charlotte, playing in the mud. Oh man, my mom or my nana would be so upset if I was getting the clothes that dirty. To Charlotte and Bruno's surprise, the doll took fishing very well. When Charlotte wiped the doll's face dry, her painted mouth blurred into a soft smile. They dug in the flower bed, planting many small stones. You look like one of Mother's flowers, Dahlia. That's a perfect name for you. Dahlia looked back brightly. Dahlia eagerly joined in Bruno's favorite game of toss up in the air and land in a heap. Her cheeks and chin grew brown and warm. The exercise seemed to do her good. Dahlia sat next to Bruno in his wagon, and Charlotte took them for a ride. You're not jealous, are you, Bruno? Whispered Charlotte. Bruno didn't mind at all. So we have Charlotte, our main character. Bruno is the bear, and Dahlia is the doll. It seems like Dahlia is getting all dirty, just like Charlotte. At the top of the hill, a cluster of boys stood with their wagons ready to race. We'll race too, said Charlotte. With a doll, snickered George. Dressed in lace, snorted Paul. She's braver than all of you, said Charlotte. Dahlia raised her chin slightly, ready for the challenge. Now, this is interesting. She wants to play with the boys. She wants to race with them. And of course, they're saying, oh, yeah, with your doll. 1, 2, 3. The race began. Dahlia sat in front, bumping up and down, hair blown back. They won. Dahlia, Bruno, and Charlotte accepted the grand prize of a cracked but handsome cup. After saying thank you, they headed home. So what just happened? Dahlia and Charlotte won the race. She beat the boys. Remember, you're looking for the message? Oh, splendid day. They still had time to climb Charlotte's favorite tree. Up they went, Bruno in one pocket, Dahlia in the other, higher than they really should have gone. So what type of character is Dahlia? Is Charlotte? Would you say that she's scared or brave? I think she's brave. She's going high in the tree, and she knows higher than she should. So it's not always safe to go up super high, right? Dahlia sat far out on the branch to have a better view. Perhaps it was the wind. Maybe Dahlia sneezed. She leaned too far over and fell down, and landed hard on the ground. Dahlia! Charlotte and Bruno climbed down. There she lay. Lace and ribbons crumpled and torn. She smiled a little, not wanting to worry Charlotte too much. Charlotte grasped Dahlia and held her close. Poor Dahlia, Charlotte wept. My poor Dahlia. So what happened? Dahlia fell. And do you think that the doll really talks and smiles? I'm not sure. I think Charlotte's just imagining. And you know what connection I just made? Remember when Mr. K went high up in the fire truck and it was super windy and I was in the bucket? I just made a connection. And we're always doing things like that when we read because we're always thinking. All right. Charlotte ran all the way home. Bruno cradling Dahlia in the wagon, bumping behind. What to do? Charlotte got out bandages and a bowl of warm water and plenty of towels. She bathed Dahlia and bandaged her arms and legs and put her to bed. Bruno held Dahlia's hand while Charlotte read softly from her favorite book. So now I feel like Charlotte's playing with the doll like girls usually play with dolls, right? Pretending the doll is the baby. And look, Charlotte's reading to it. And she put bandages on it and she cleaned it because it fell from the tree. Finally, Dahlia's eyes opened. She felt good as new. That's a little creepy to me. Charlotte brushed Dahlia's hair and straightened her dress. She brushed Bruno, too. And I'd better do the same. So now Charlotte is brushing her own hair. She's doing more doll stuff with the doll, I notice. Not putting it in the mud. We are almost done. Downstairs, a door opened. There were voices in the hall. Charlotte, your Aunt Edma's here. Quickly, it's time to go down, whispered Charlotte. So now the aunt who gave her the doll is coming over. So Charlotte's going downstairs with her doll. There was Aunt Edma, frail hands folded in her lap. She was wearing lace and linen and silk ribbons, looking just the way Dahlia had in her box that morning. Charlotte, dear, how do you like your new doll? Asked Aunt Edma. Bruno and I like her very much. She has become our best friend, said Charlotte. May I see the doll? Asked Aunt Edma. Charlotte held Dahlia up for Aunt Edma to see. She was muddy and torn, her hair tangled in knots, but her face was softened into a sweet, warm smile. Aunt Edma studied the doll. Then, I gave Aunt Edma an old voice because look at her, she's a little old. Aunt Edma smiled too. When I saw your doll in a shop window, I thought she needed to be out in the sunshine and played with and loved. I knew that it's just what you would do for her. I only wish I could make mud pies and be tossed in the air, but I am too old. Aunt Edma kissed Charlotte and Dahlia on the cheek. She shook Bruno's paw. From then on, Dahlia made mud cakes and climbed trees and rode with Bruno and was loved by Charlotte forever after. Wow, what a great illustrations. What a great story. So you may be thinking now, Mr. Kane, what was the message? I hope that this is a little more challenging because I wanted to challenge you. So think about what happened in the story. Remember, you're not going to use the character's name, but think about Charlotte. Think about her race with the boys. Think about what she likes to do. So what is this telling us? There is a message here, and I'm not going to give it away. Maybe your message might be a little different than mine, but I'm really curious. I'm excited to see what you write. So please submit this paper or write it on a blank piece of paper, take a picture, or you can record yourself even. But if you want to write it, try to write it if you can. Submit me something, even if it is, I got no clue what the message was. And we will talk about what the message was on the next Read Aloud. And I can't wait to read your responses. Have a wonderful day.